At long last, we are finally free from Motorsport games. It is finally the light at the end of the tunnel for all NASCAR gamers, as the news came out today that iRacing would officially be getting the console gaming license for NASCAR games now. iRacing put out a few different statements. On Twitter, they said, together with NASCAR, we're set to deliver a brand new NASCAR simulation-style console game in 2025, with everything you've been asking for. And on their website, they said, a new console game is coming. iRacing is developing the next NASCAR console racing game for Microsoft Xbox, Sony PlayStation, and PC platforms. Gamers will be able to experience the thrill of racing super speedways like Daytona and Talladega, short tracks like Martinsville and Bristol, and everything in between. Strap yourself in, NASCAR fans and gamers. This is going to be a thrill ride. And NASCAR Heat also put a statement out about the current games, saying that today we're announcing the sale of the NASCAR license from 704 Games to iRacing. The NASCAR Heat games will remain available and supported through 2023 and 2024. This decision will help our business reorganize and focus on quality future releases. Thank you for racing with us. Now, first off, I do want to say I don't think that the last two Heat games were bad, and I'm hoping that a lot of these gamers at least will be able to race the next year and a half, 2 years in a good way, and that these games don't get butchered or just fall into disrepair for them. Because this is still going to be a bit of a long time for iRacing to release their game. But I will say this is probably the first time in a long time that I have had real substantial hope in the NASCAR console gaming sphere. For the first time since probably the middle of the Heat era, I would say, there is actually hope of an improvement in this console space. And this is a huge step for NASCAR to bring in that very coveted younger base that they so desperately want to bring into the sport. Now, I'm going to start with this. This game starting out does not have to be NASCAR Thunder 2004. It doesn't have to be NR 2003. It doesn't have to be any great game that you think of. I think it just needs to be serviceable. It needs to work. It needs basic features that every game that NASCAR fans love to play had. It does not need us hoping for a track map right off the bat. It does not need us hoping for physics that actually makes some sort of sense. It doesn't need to sound like a lawnmower. All it needs to do is just sound, look, and feel like a NASCAR game. If they even hit what the best of you Technics did in this game, this will be a glowing success for iRacing. The bar should not be held all the way to the top right at the first jump. It needs to definitely be higher than Motorsport Games was, so dig the bar up out of the ground, but I do think that just having a game that's working and that we can have fun with will be a rousing success. With that being said, long term, with the way that iRacing has made their platform, this needs to be better than NASCAR Thunder 2004, and I think that the expectation for NASCAR fans long term is that this game, through patches or the future releases that they have, need to be the best NASCAR games ever. Nowadays, the gaming sphere is one that, in my opinion, is very flawed. And if you can stand out as a good racing game overall, you can bring people in who aren't even NASCAR fans because of just having a fun game. Word of mouth on the internet does actually exist, and we've seen it with, say, the Formula One games, where people who don't even watch F1 will play those games because they're genuinely some of the best racing games out there. NASCAR and iRacing need to enter this kind of fray, because that alone will get the NASCAR brand so much further than anything that NASCAR does. I don't think I'm the only one that says this, but when I was 7 years old, when I got into NASCAR, the first thing that I remember my parents doing before even taking me to a race after I said I was into it is they got me NASCAR Thunder 04 for my old Xbox. I still have those. I still play them to this day. One, because of nostalgia, but two, because it's the best we still have. This needs to change. There is no reason that a kid growing up today would have to buy an original Xbox or PlayStation 2 to play the best possible NASCAR game and experience. So, iRacing, I am in full support right now, and I can't wait to see what you do, but the bar is high, and I hope that you set the bar as high as fans should be setting it. Now, iRacing is a high-level company, and the sim that they have is something that needs to be emulated. They have a lot of data of different tracks, and I think that they need to do things that NASCAR games have never done before. If that means acquiring the license to have old sponsors and cars in the game, granted, you're probably not going to get the 8 car with the Bud decals and all that, but if you're able to get a lot of maybe different era cars so that you can maybe race through different eras and have a career mode that has different car generations, that would be long-term one of the greatest things that any sports game has ever done, and would fully have the immersion of any fans watching at home. I would love one day if my career mode started in 2007, going back and forth between the Gen 4 and the COT, and then I retire in the next gen era. I'm obviously probably having a pipe dream with this, but still, that alone would be a hell of a lot better than anything any other sports franchise has ever done. I'm telling you, I want the bar to be high for this. And if they can't reach my over lofty expectations, but still have a great game, I'm not going to be disappointed. But I will say this. It makes IndyCar's decision of basically ditching iRacing for motorsport games so much worse, because I have a feeling that IndyCar game is never releasing, and if iRacing can acquire a license for that, they may have basically just iRacing out there in a console sense and have different kinds of cars all over the place. I hope that's what happens, but right now IndyCar gaming looks like it's in the darkest it's ever been, and that's pretty much where NASCAR gaming was for the last couple years. I'll say this though. Looking back at what NASCAR fans have had to go through, if I have any message that I think I've made abundantly clear so far, look at what they did. Look at how bad they butchered the NASCAR console gaming series. Look how badly the product was, looked, everything about it, and how they screwed over a lot of people in this industry that helped them out. I don't blame the people who made the games. They were put under unfavorable conditions, and I don't think that the blame should be placed on them. It's the leaders up top who screwed up. So, I'm saying this now though. A lot of people made a lot of excuses for motorsport games before they finally realized. Those people who jumped over to iRacing, I think, had the right idea and were ahead of the curve. But I'm going to say this. Do not let bad games have slack. Yeah, if the first one's not good, okay, I get that. They're getting their feet wet. But they go 2-3 games into this thing and there's no real good improvement, or it's not a good game. Do not run under the same dumb excuses that made the Heat games happen, that made NASCAR 21 happen. Don't do any of that. Keep your expectations high and speak through your wallet with it. Do not put expectations low just off of hope alone. That's what I have to leave you off with. Now, with that, I'm going to ask you this. What do you think of iRacing developing console games for NASCAR? Do you think that we finally reached the light at the end of the tunnel, or are you cautious about it? You don't know yet because, let's be honest, we NASCAR fans have been burned a couple times. Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great NASCAR content, whether real life or virtual. And thank you to all my channel members for your continued support. So until next time, have a good one.
It's coming. Physics! Physics! Physics!